This is the Extra Point Podcast. During this podcast, we will dive deeper into our Sunday teaching and share practical next steps for your faith journey. Now, let's kick off the Extra Point.
Hey, welcome to the Extra Point. I'm Cheryl Ross, the Next Steps and Discipleship Pastor here at Southridge Church, and I'm joined with Aleigha Tucker, one of our interns here, and we are going to dive deeper into this past Sunday. It was our Youth Sunday service, but before we get into that, I just want to make sure that if you haven't liked or subscribed this podcast, that you go ahead and do so. That way you don't miss out on any new content. So this past Sunday, one of our previous interns, Maddie Painter, who is now a freshman at WVU, she brought the message, and she shared, her bottom line was kind of this idea that God doesn't want to be part of just Sundays, but he wants to be part of your daily lives, right?
Yeah.
Not just Sundays. And so she shared this concept in the story from an Olympic rugby player about her training, and she used a text from 1 Corinthians chapter 9. And I'm going to read the fuller text because I think she just shared from 27, but it says from starting in verse 24, it says, "Do you not know that in a race all runners run, but only one gets a prize? Run in such a way as to get the prize. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Therefore, I do not run like someone running aimlessly. I do not fight like a boxer beating the air. No, I strike a blow to my body and make it my slave, so that after I have preached to others, I myself will not be disqualified for the prize." So she compared this kind of training, that I'm going to say her name, Aleigha Mayer, her training that she had to do daily and every morning in order to prepare for the Olympics, to the kind of training that we need to do as followers of Jesus in our spiritual habits and disciplines.
Yeah.
And so she talked a lot about taking away some of those old habits. We even did a response where we had to get up out of our seats to write down some of those habits we need to get rid of in order to make space for those good habits. And so we know, like, research shows that habits make up 80% of our daily life.
Yeah.
There are things we do every day that we just do, and we don't have to think about it. We know we got to do them. We know we got to brush our teeth. We know we got to get dressed. We know we got to brush our hair. We know, like, there are things that we do, and it's just a habit that we've done for so long that we are used to. But what are some maybe small habits that you've noticed that either draw you closer to God or pull you away from him?
Yeah. So one of the habits that I notice that draws me away from God is literally doom scrolling. I am a doom scroller, especially at night. I will lay in my bed and just scroll. And I will get so caught up in the world because I like to watch videos. I watch reels. I watch little TikToks. And so I will get into a hole of worldly living. And I will have to literally say to myself, Aleigha, you have to put this down. Because I will get so caught up and I will start getting invested in other people's business and listen to these gossipy things. I know that sounds crazy, but I start watching these like TikTok stars and see who's talking about who. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Yeah. Like, you have to get off of this. So that's one of those things that draw me away from God. But I have started a different habit that kind of draws me closer to God. When I'm off work, and I've incorporated my kids in this, we will get up early. We will get us some coffee. We will go sit on the porch, and we will read the Bible together. And we will just look at nature. We will spend time with each other. We'll watch the birds. We'll talk about the weather. Like, Abel loves to watch the flowers, and so we'll look at all these hummingbirds. And so that gives us a chance to connect with God, like through nature, through his word. And then I'm spending time with my children, like one-on-one time with them and discipling them in that moment. And a lot of the times I found that they're actually teaching me something. And it is just the coolest thing. So that's one of the habits that we started doing, me and my kids. And it's just really helped grow our relationship, but also my relationship with God.
Yeah.
Because my kids now want to know things.
Yes.
And like Eliza the other night, she just spent She is the funniest prayer. She'll pray for everything, but it is the cutest thing. And those things wouldn't happen if I wasn't spiritually disciplining myself and then bringing them in with me for that. And you as a mom probably do things like that too.
Yeah.
And it's the coolest thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I think one of those little things that we tried to incorporate, like with our kids especially too, was if there was something bothering them, they were hurt, like whatever, we would just pray for it.
Yes.
And so this actually happened not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before. I let the kids sleep downstairs on the couch Saturday night. They didn't sleep much.
Yeah.
They came in, they were tired. So they were just like, Esme and Carter were just at it. And something happened in the E-zone. Carter ran out because he says, I overreacted. Anyway, it was a whole thing.
Yeah.
But so I talked to each of them separately. I brought them together so Esme could apologize and ask forgiveness, because we do this thing where we're like, it's not okay.
Yeah.
You don't just say, I'm sorry, and somebody respond, it's okay.
Yeah.
Because it's not okay to hurt each other. So whether it's physically or emotionally.
Yeah.
And so she came in, asked for forgiveness and all of that. And then I said, is there anything else that you want to say? And she said, I would like to pray for him and pray with him. And I was like, bad, because it's one of those things that, like, for her, it's second nature now. Like, anytime any of us aren't feeling well, if I have a headache, like a migraine or whatever, she's like, Mom, I want to pray for you.
Yeah.
Mom, I'm praying for you to have a good day. Like, it's just become that thing for her. And sometimes I look at it and I see it and I'm like, man, why didn't I think of that? Like, you know, but it's a habit that was created even in her at a young age. I mean, she's 7 now.
Yeah.
And, but that's something that's become that. And so there are those simple little things. It's like anytime there's any kind of something happening, whether it's hurt physically, hurt emotionally, hurt whatever, to know, oh, I can just pray about this.
Yeah.
Like, is a really simple, easy habit, as one of those spiritual disciplines too that you can create. I think for me, one of the things that maybe I have done that draws me away is I will also do the reels and that kind of thing. But sometimes one of the things that I do is I'll go through and do some cleaning at night after all the kids are in bed. I've started doing that now that we're back in school.
Yeah.
And the habit of things. But that was time before over the summer, that I was using that time when kids initially were in bed to spend time with God, because my mornings are like just Carter is always awake. He's awake before me most of the time.
He's an early bird.
You know, so mornings don't work for me.
Yeah.
But that initial time after they first went to bed, it was always a time that I would do my devotion, I would do my study, and I've gotten out of the habit of it. But cleaning and doing those things isn't bad, right?
No, because you can bring God into those moments too.
But by the time I'm done with all that, I'm so tired, I just pass out.
Yeah.
And so I haven't been doing it.
Yeah.
And I thought, like, after I heard that and said, I was like, oh man, I need to swap those.
Yeah.
Like, let me give God my energy first.
Yeah.
And then the last bit of energy that I have can be whatever, throw a load of laundry in the washer, you know, whatever. Those types of things after the fact or in the morning.
Yeah.
Rather than, because those are things that I can do while the kids are awake.
Yeah.
Easier than what I can do the study.
Yeah.
So Maddie shared about FOMO and how her FOMO, or her fear of missing out, kept her in some relationships that maybe were not healthy or not good for her spiritually. And I want to ask you, have you ever had to let go of someone in order to grow spiritually, or, you know, understand that they were not good for you in that way? And what was it like?
Yes. Okay. So I have shared about this before, probably in, I can't remember what setting I was in. I think I was with a bunch of other ladies. And I had a friendship that whenever I started coming to church and really getting involved and just diving deeper into my faith, they weren't. She was in a relationship that she shouldn't have been in and still shouldn't, and she was just really far from God. She didn't understand the things I was doing. when I was around her, I would start to act out a little bit. I would fall into fleshly behaviors. Like I would be cussing, I'd be gossiping, like I'd be doing things that I know I shouldn't be doing, and I would feel that conviction. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to lose this friend because I love her, right? But also, I don't really have any other friends. Like, I don't really hang out with anybody. Like, I'm just getting started here at the church. Like, I don't know nobody else.
Yeah.
We went through recovery points together. Like, me and her have history. And so I'm like, I don't want to lose this. I'm not going to have anybody else. And what if she changes? Like, I don't want to miss out on that. And, like, she does fun stuff. Like, we're going out to the stores. Like, we're going to the events. Like, I don't have nobody else to do that with me. She'll hang out with me and my kids while my husband's out of town. And so I was thinking of all the things that I would lose, right? But then I had to reevaluate. Like, I'm losing my faith. Like, I'm losing my relationship with God. And so, kind of like Maddie prayed that prayer, like, God, whoever I'm not supposed to have in my life, just take them out. And she was like, I started losing friends, right? They just, one moved. And the other one, like, they just got in a relationship and fell off. And so it was like, literally God started weeding these people out of her life. That same thing happened with me, with this person. Like, God literally took her out of my life. And it was the greatest thing. Honestly, it felt like, gosh, this sucks. And there'll be times that I still, like, think about her, but I pray for her. Like, I pray for her to find that relationship and change her lifestyle. Like, I have gained so much more from losing that friendship. I have friends that are chasing the same things I'm chasing. To be more like Christ. And these friends that I'm with, they hold me accountable and they push me to do better. Like, and at first it was hard. It was difficult. It was a little lonely. But then God placed those right people in my life. You know? And so that has definitely been one of my friendships. And I'm sure it's happened many times, but that is the one that, like, has really marked me. Like, I just can't forget, because I think it was the first one that happened. And so I don't think you forget that.
No, I don't think so either. Because I remember even a time when the friendships, like, the people weren't bad. They would have told you they were Christians even. But because of some other things going on, like, it wasn't a healthy environment for me. But I think that the opposite of that is, you do focus on what you're going to lose. But remembering what you can gain in place of that. And, you know, some people might think it sounds a little harsh to, like, replace people or that kind of thing. But I think in the same way that you pray for those people to be removed from your life, you can pray for God to bring those godly friendships into your life. And I think that, like, that is that thing that, like, if you focus on that, and, like, because I know I talk with a lot of women here who are like, I just don't feel like I have, like, a good godly friend in my life. And I'm like, have you prayed? Like, God, show me these other women that sit in the same service as me that I maybe need to introduce myself to. Like, I said, have you prayed for these things? Have you looked around the room when you're sitting here to see, oh, there's somebody over there and they have a little baby like me. Like, maybe I can go and introduce myself. And, you know, I think that sometimes, like, we forget as adults that we can do the same kind of friendship making that we did as a kid. Like, when you were a kid and you're at school, and, you know, we just witnessed this at the new playground at Coonskin the other day. This little girl heard Anthony call Anakin by name, and she told, like, her older cousin or whoever was with her, like, was like, I know his name. Like, we heard this. And then she goes, I'm going to ask him to play with me. And so she went up to him and she said, hey, Anakin, would you like to play with me? And he was like, how'd you know my, you know, but then they went off playing together and were, like, close friends for a little bit. But I think that, like, in the same way that we were in those environments as kids where you could easily make friends, and, like, and it doesn't start, you just, as a kid, you just talk to people and you just, you know what I mean? You go up and you don't care to ask them to hang out with you. But as an adult, it's like we get this thing in us where we're like, oh, like, we have this fear of rejection almost to the point that we don't look for that. And so I think that, you know, even within that, if you want to have those people around you that also have these spiritual disciplines and good habits of this kind of stuff, then you need to be looking for those people
Yes.
and trying to befriend them and that kind of thing.
And this is that in itself, having the community and the fellowship is a type of spiritual habit.
Yes.
Like that in itself is a spiritual habit
Acts
for
2,
yourself. And so I think sometimes we think of only the spiritual habits being prayer and Bible reading.
Yeah.
It's so much more than that.
Yeah.
This community, this fellowship, that's a part of it. Acts of service. Like there's so many different ways that we have spiritual habits where we connect with God, where we grow deeper in our faith.
Yeah, and I think Maddie even shared about that, about how her serving like has just grown her so much. And like, so this morning, the day that we record this and everything, this morning, my Bible study meets, and because we meet on a Tuesday, I was like, hey, during UC football time, can we meet at the church and just pack the bags together? So we packed the bags together. It went so fast. We got to talk and fellowship during that time. And then we did our Bible study right after. And it's one of those things, but like, you know, because we always typically sit around and talk a little bit anyway, but that gave us something to do while we were talking and catching up that is serving God's purposes. And so I think that like, there are so many things that you can do, little things, little changes in your life, to kind of hit some of these habits or these healthy things, for your spiritual growth that is good. What has maybe helped you personally stay disciplined in your faith practices, in those disciplines, over the course of your time following Jesus?
So I think it's important for me to address that I'm not perfect, right? And so like I fall short. I will start to do really good and I will get in this routine. I will develop these habits and I'm a person who is constantly seeking change, which is crazy, probably part of my ADHD. I don't do well. Like, I love routine, but I don't love routine at the same time. It's really crazy, okay? And so I will try to switch it up and change it, and then I just fall off. And I'll be like, what are you doing, dude? And I'll have to get back into it. I forgot the question you asked.
What are some things that have helped you stay disciplined?
Oh, yes. Okay. Little rewards.
Yeah.
Little rewards for myself and like little like, girl, you did that. You did good this week. Like just little pep talks for myself. Even like my husband has even brought in like we have a reward chart for our kids.
Yeah.
And so for me and him, like we set goals for the month. And if we reach those goals, we're getting $20. Like, and so setting a goal in my goal for the month. Okay, I'm going to read my Bible maybe every other day. Like I'm going to get deep in the word, not just read it, like deep in a study and do something different. Like go a layer deeper. Doing that and then having that reward at the end. Like I'm a person who strives off of rewards. Yeah. And so I do that.
I think that they're like, I don't remember which book I read, but they were talking about how people are either reward driven or fear driven.
Yeah.
And so you're reward driven. I think that is a fun, cool thing to do. Like I think of even for somebody who likes Bible study and likes the highlighting and the, you know, whatever, like getting yourself a new Bible highlighter after so many days of getting in there or that kind of thing. One of the things I think Craig Rochelle talks about in his book, I think it's The Power of Change. Anyway, he talks about, and I think we talked about this earlier too, is setting that ideal or that goal, like realizing that it's every time you maybe focusing on the times that you get it right as opposed to the times you get it wrong. Because I think that we get in the mindset where we're like, oh man, I missed it. And we feel like, well, I failed, so I'm just going to give up now. Or I'm not going to do it now. Or like, man, I was on a 10-day streak and I missed day 11. So now like I can't get back on. It's like he says, just focus on the days that you have done it. And every day that you do actually do that thing is a success, is a, you know, I've completed that goal, but giving yourself grace in those times where maybe you don't, and realizing like the worst thing it's wild the way that our minds work, because we get that, like we all do that.
Yeah.
It's easier once you stop something. They say it takes 21 days to create a habit, 1 day to break the habit.
Yep.
But because this is the way our minds work, like we see that one failure, we see it as a failure, but like, dude, if you did 10 days straight, that's 10 days straight. Like, why would you call that a fail?
Yes.
Right? There are many people who don't do that. And so looking at those times that you did it right and saying, you know, hey, I succeeded 10 days in a row.
Yeah.
I'm going to give myself grace in this moment.
Yes.
And start back again, because quitting completely doesn't do any good.
No.
Right? And so it's just getting back. If you're somebody who needs to change it up every now and then, figure out a way, like a rhythm. She talked about rhythms, you know, like setting a way to where maybe you can create a rhythm of, okay, I've noticed after 21 days of this, I get bored with it. So I'm going to make sure that I know at 21 days, I'm going to switch it up, do something different. Maybe it's a location. Maybe it's what I'm studying. Maybe it's whatever.
Maybe it's even the time I'm doing something.
Exactly. And so if that's the case, like just figure that out. And I think creating that flow or that schedule of how to do it and stay in that rhythm is important and helpful.
And not being so hard on yourself.
Yeah.
When you do fall.
Yes.
Like,
I think that is.
because we're going to mess up. We're going to miss days. We're
Yes.
going to make mistakes. Like, that's going to happen. Don't quit.
Yeah.
Don't stop.
Yeah. And don't get in that permanent mindset. Because I think that, like, when you say, oh, I'm never going to do this, I always fail. Like, when you get in those things, then you get in that, like, just that negative mentality where you need to just kind of get out of that. And self-control is a big part of this. That's part of what Maddie shared about. I think self-control is one of those things that often get missed.
Yeah.
But because we are given the ability to have self-control, it's part of the fruit of the Spirit.
Yeah.
That you receive through the Holy Spirit. And so you have it.
Yes.
But like anything, you have to work at it. You have to, create.
You have to exercise it.
Yes. Yes. And so it's part of that. Like when you say no to some of those things, you do create a little bit more muscle in that self-control area.
Yeah.
And I think that can help you with those disciplines as well. What are some rhythms of life that you think help you or help a believer grow in their relationship with Jesus? What are some regular rhythms of life that might help believers grow in their relationship with Jesus?
Yeah, I'm going to say community and fellowship. For me, I think that getting connected with people who are seeking the same thing, joining a group, doing things like that is going to grow you closer to Jesus. Yeah. Because when you're surrounded by people who are following and living right, doing right, like trying to just be better. Yeah. That's going to rub off on you. Like you're going to pick up on that. And so then I think from doing that, those other types of habits can flow in. Yeah. The Bible reading, the prayer. Because if you're with someone who's doing that and responding that way, just like children, like with children, like you're going to pick up on that same thing and you're going to start to mimic that and do that and see that transformation. So I think that's probably for me the most important.
Yeah, one. Absolutely. Obviously, like if you are an attender of Southward Church, then that's probably part of your rhythm of the week, right? You go to church. Now groups are starting back up this coming Sunday. So you add that back in. Yeah. But I think even outside of that, like having those friendships that you can connect with outside of that, or finding those moments. Like I spend an hour and a half to 2 hours at the soccer field twice a week now. Yeah. So like that is part of my weekly rhythm that like, why can't I throw in some Bible study during that time? You know, why can't I invite a friend to hang out with me and talk about stuff? Like one of the parents on Carter's team, actually, because I had sat in my car doing some stuff the last week, and she was like, hey, I want to catch up with you and hear about Ecuador. And I was like, oh man, I totally forgot that we had talked about Ecuador before I went, but we've been disconnected over the summer. And I'm like, I'll get to share with another parent about how God showed up and did some really cool things through
that's
that
cool.
Ecuador trip.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I think that there are things like that we just don't think about always, like in the rhythm of what we're doing in our weeks, where we can share about God, hear from God, and I just don't think that we always are mindful of. And so looking for those spaces in everyday moments, like the moments of life that you're already doing, to bring God into it.
Yeah.
And bring some of these disciplines that we say are, because I think that one of the things that get missed a lot in those spiritual disciplines is sharing your testimony, sharing the stories of how God has shown up in your life.
Yeah.
And that is something that you can share in a lot of those moments.
Yeah.
Whether that's with friends, with other parents on a sports team, at practice, or with your kids, whatever. And so I think that's one that can obviously happen. Is there anything else from the teaching or just from our discussion that you would like to
I
share?
think just the last thing I'd like to really include is throughout your daily life, throughout your daily routines, it doesn't have to be like a big sit down thing to spend time with God. Like, you can be driving in the car and say a prayer.
Yeah.
You could be cleaning your house and turn on some worship music. Like, you can click on the Extra Point podcast and listen to it while you're cleaning the car.
Yeah.
Or your house or whatever. Like, you can turn those things on and spend time with God through that. Turn on a sermon. Like, it doesn't have to be so, what is the word I'm looking for? So like structured almost.
Structured.
It doesn't have to be so structured, like in such a certain way all the time. Like, let it be intentional, but also like free flowing.
Yeah. I think this is where, like, I think Maddie, I don't know if she had it in her notes or if it was just like something that she wanted us to actually hit on this year. It's like triggers over not always goals, but some triggers for you. So like, I knew someone who at every red light, they would take time to pray.
Yeah.
Like, it was a trigger for them. At every red light, they would pray.
Yeah.
They would say something like, and so I think for, what you were just sharing, if, hey, I have a 30-minute drive to work, this should be a trigger for me to maybe spend that time intentionally with God.
Yes.
Whether that's praying along my drive, listening to music, listening to a podcast or a sermon, whatever that looks like, or, cleaning when I don't have people around, like what can I maybe listen to or do while I'm cleaning, that can help trigger me to spend some time in one of these habits. And so I think that with those things, I think that brings some intentionality to it for you in your life, to help remind you about these disciplines.
Yeah.
So
even doing yard work, dude.
Yeah.
Like, if you're outside weeding your garden or mowing the grass, like showing some gratitude. Like, God, thank you so much for giving me a garden to weed.
Yeah.
For growing these plants. Like, I think even just incorporating that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just, there's so many different ways that we spend time with God. And so, I don't know, find what works for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Find what works for you. But remember, I think one of the key things that I want to remind you of is that through the power of the cross and the blood that Christ shared, you have the power within you, if you are a believer in Jesus Christ, to have his blood cover those things.
Yes.
Cover those bad habits. Maybe they're not sinful habits. Maybe they are, to help cover those things and free you from that. So that way you can incorporate some of the better habits, Christ and his blood. And that is just powerful in our lives. And I don't think we fully always grasp the full power that is available to us in our daily lives.
Yeah.
We think about it maybe for salvation and eternity, but we don't always think about it in the ability for our daily lives and things like habits.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was a really powerful demonstration that she used. And I want to leave you with that it's not through your own power that you have to do these things, but it's through the power of the Spirit that you're given everything you need to live a godly life. And so you have what you need available to you. And we do it out of that love and that gratitude for Christ and what he's done to be able to grow closer to God. And so we hope that this is helpful and that this has given you some practical steps to create those habits and run that race that is set before you, that is a prize that will last forever and not just something temporary. We want to see forever changes, not temporary changes.
Yes.
It's all about life transformation. But next week we'll be back here again with another extra point from our Rise and Fall series as we get back into 2 Samuel. So we hope to see you then. Until then, we hope that you just put some of these things into practice.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in to The Extra Point. Be sure to subscribe to the Southridge Church podcast and tune in every Wednesday for another episode of The Extra Point.